Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech Talk Fridays. I'm Jamie from Intelligent Home. Thanks for joining me. Welcome back if you joined in the last couple of weeks. Today we're going to chat a little bit about Sonos. Sonos is probably one of the most popular multi-room audio products out there in the market. It's definitely one of the original names in app-controlled multi-room audio. Really, reinvigorated the space of music around people's homes some years ago, and they've been on a constant trend of building up their product portfolio. So they've got everything from sound bars to go with your TVs to more portable, compact little speakers that can run around the home. Today, the main focus will be the Sonos amp. So I want to chat a little bit about, the old model, the Connect amp, and the new model. There's a couple of fairly key differences between them, so I'll dive right in. So this is the old model. Some of you guys may have seen this at retail stores or custom installers. This was what was known as the Sonos Connect amp. So on the back here, we can see we've got the power cable. Over this side, we've got the speaker connectors. We've got the auxiliary input and subwoofer output, and the dual Ethernet ports or LAN ports. The cool thing with this product and a few of the other products in Sonos's range is with the double network ports at the back, you can actually loop through. So if you've got a single data port in the wall, connect to one of the ports, then connect to the next port to another device, so on and so forth. So the old model, been around for years, absolute staple of the industry, 55 watts per channel, always been fairly well regarded. Ventilation pretty much all from the top, also a little bit ventilated from the bottom. And the idea was you would plonk this in a cabinet in a living room or in a rack, and you would connect the speaker terminals to a pair of speakers, indoor or outdoor speakers, floor standing towers, whatever you needed. Also has a subwoofer output so that you could connect a local subwoofer, or of course you could use Sonos's wireless subwoofer. So that got retailed for $749. Like I say, it's been around for many, many years, and Sonos don't do it often, but when they do effectively replace a product or move one off to the side to make way for new tech, when they do it, they always do it with a bit of a bang. So the new model, so the old model was called the Connect amp. The new model is just called the Sonos amp. This is the new model. So you can see it's a lot more slim and sleek. Nicer design on top, so it's still ventilated around this ring, still ventilated at the bottom, and on the back we can see we've still got that double Ethernet port. We've got our speaker connectors over this side, we've got our auxiliary connections over this side, and power. What you may notice as well is we've now got the HDMI connection. So now we can actually connect this straight to a TV. HDMI audio out of the TV straight into the amp, uses the HDMI ARC or audio return channel functionality. And it just means that if you wanted something a bit bigger, a bit beefier than a soundbar, you could definitely just connect up a really nice set of speakers. We've actually got the amp on display here in our showroom running a pair of Martin Logan Tower speakers. And it does a really good job, sounds really good. Just means that, like I say, if you wanted something a little bit different to a soundbar, you wanted something a bit louder, a bit better quality, you could definitely connect up a nice pair of speakers to the Sonos amp, connect the HDMI input. And in Sonos's, thought process of keeping things really easy to use, because you're using the audio coming out of the TV, your TV's remote control will actually adjust the volume via that HDMI cable, one of the benefits of the audio return channel function of the HDMI. So other than that, a couple of other little changes. So they've got the touch sensitive buttons across the front here. So it's literally just tap, single little LED indicator up here will tell you whether it's playing, paused, whatever. And then the little squares that you see on the sides, these can be quite simply tapped to adjust volume. And you can, so if you needed to take basic control, it's all tap. On the old model, same level of control, but physical buttons. So you would actually press the button for play, pause, or use the volume buttons. So The major differences from our point of view, and this is something that Sonos talks about a little bit, is when they released the new model, the new amp, they've really released it with the more custom end of the market in mind, in terms of its ability to fit into a rack. If we've got a large home installation and we're putting a whole bunch of these in, you can fit more of the new amp into a rack or into a cabinet than you can of the old one. The new design allows for stackability, but still with very good ventilation, whereas the old one, the heat tend to rise straight from one end to the other with that top to bottom ventilation. So they weren't as stackable or as scalable in that regard. So definitely a lot more flexibility with getting them into larger volume installations, which from our perspective is really, really cool. It's great to see a company as big as Sonos, that has as much market share as Sonos, as much retail presence as Sonos, helping out the installer side of the market. Of course, if you were to buy one yourself and set it up, it couldn't be easier. The speaker connectors on the back, the little round connectors over this side are where the speaker connectors go. So they're actually a plug, wee little plug with two prongs. You wire your speaker cables into it and literally just plug it in, which makes the setup super fast, super easy. It also means, from a service point of view, if you need to take it out of the cabinet to move it around, you're just unplugging. You're not needing to unscrew connectors to get the speaker wires out. So look, I guess the other major thing is the previous model, 55 watts per channel across 2 channels. The new model, and this is probably the biggest deal, is 125 watts per channel across 2 channels. And that's why we've been able to use it to run the big beefy Martin Logan speakers that we're using here in our little demo. 125 watts a channel is a lot of power. It does a couple of pretty cool things. It means that your speakers will sound more full, more rich, better quality sound at lower volumes. You don't need to turn it all the way up to 12 to really have your speakers sounding really good. It also means, and some people have experienced this with the older model, when you run the older model right up loud for a long period of time, it will eventually heat itself up, and it will either turn its own volume down or it will turn itself off until it can cool down. Having 125 watts a channel means you don't need to turn the volume dial all the way up to get the same level of volume, which means you should be able to party louder longer without it cutting out or cutting off. That's pretty much it from me. Thanks for tuning in for another week. As I said, if you wanted to come in and have a look at the Sonos amp for yourself, we've got one set up in the showroom. Give us a call or hit us up. We'll make somebody available for you to come down and have a bit of an audition with the product. You can get a bit of hands-on time. And product. So if you've got a Play Bar, if you've got a Sonos Play One, a Sonos One with Alexa in it, if you've got Play 5s around the house, this just joins in as a part of the ecosystem. So yeah, that's me. Thanks for tuning in for another Tech Talk Friday. I will see you guys same time next Friday. Have a great weekend. Cheers.